Formula One just gave us what might genuinely have been the most boring sprint race of the entire 2026 season. And that's saying something. We came into Zandvoort expecting action, a short race, drivers attacking from the very first lap, no time to wait around. Instead, we got something that, at times, looked more like a very expensive Formula One parade. George Russell started from pole, controlled the race, and took the victory. Fair play to him. Mercedes did exactly what they needed to do, but behind him, where was the fight? Where was the chaos? Where was the racing that the sprint format is supposed to give us? Because if the entire purpose of a sprint weekend is to create more action, today raised a pretty uncomfortable question. What exactly was the point? And I want to know what you think. Was this the most boring sprint race of 2026? Or are Formula One fans being too harsh? Tell me in the comments, because I think this one is going to divide people. Now, there was at least one genuinely interesting story: Charles Leclerc. Leclerc managed to get ahead of Lando Norris and bring the Ferrari home in second place. And considering how difficult it was to make anything happen in this race, that move becomes even more impressive. Norris had started ahead of him, but by the end, it was Leclerc sitting between Russell and the McLaren. Russell first, Leclerc second, Norris third. And perhaps the biggest concern for McLaren isn't simply losing second place. It's how comfortable Mercedes looked at the front. Russell never really looked like a driver desperately trying to protect a sprint victory. He looked in control, completely in control, and that's something the rest of Formula One should be paying attention to. But there's a much bigger question here. Formula One introduced sprint races to give fans more racing, more action, more jeopardy, more reasons to watch every single day of a Grand Prix weekend. But when you get a race like this, you have to ask whether the format is actually delivering what was promised. And here's where things get controversial. Maybe the problem isn't Zandvoort. Maybe the problem is the sprint format itself. Think about it. If drivers don't want to take major risks before Sunday's Grand Prix, if strategy is limited, and if track position becomes everything, then simply making the race shorter doesn't automatically make the racing better. Sometimes, it just gives us a shorter, boring race. And today's sprint might have been the perfect example. So here's my question for you. Would you keep sprint races in Formula One? Comment keep if you want Formula One sprints to stay. Or comment remove if you think Formula One should get rid of them. Keep or remove. I genuinely want to see which side wins this one. And while you're down there, hit the like button if you enjoy these Formula One stories. Subscribe to the Paddock Vault and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. We're following the biggest stories from the Paddock throughout the 2026 season, and your likes, comments, and subscriptions genuinely help this channel reach more Formula One fans. But for today, George Russell won, Mercedes delivered, Charles Leclerc produced one of the few real highlights, and Formula One gave us a sprint race that we might remember, for all the wrong reasons. So I'll ask you one final time, was that the most boring sprint race of 2026? Keep or remove? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.